We're at a very important point in our history. After 2020, across this country, a lot of cities are in precipitous decline. Crime is rampant. The economies are beginning to turn in a bad direction. Retail stores are closing in downtowns, high vacancy rates. Greenville's different. Greenville's very different. Our crime, violent crime is down in the city. We have a downtown that's still vibrant and thriving with good mixed use. We have no problems at all with occupancy of office space. It's just the opposite. We have a record number of retail stores that are opening, not closing. So very different situation. So I'm particularly compelled at this moment in our history to make sure we stay on this track. It's more important than ever. So in terms of specifics though, a couple things I'm very excited about. First, we just rezoned the entire city of Greenville. Very big action. Why did we do that? Well, about 5 years ago, we actually went around the country to fast-growing communities and asked the question, places like Austin, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, we asked the question, what would you have done differently? We don't want to grow the way you were growing, so how can we learn from you? And the result of that is the new land use ordinance, our new citywide zoning ordinance. It actually addresses how Greenville can grow in a very different way. And again, this was a thoughtful process that we undertook almost 5 years ago. And then we did bring it out to the public. We held public meetings and lots of discussions all over the city. And we have a product that I think people understand. It focuses on neighborhoods and better protects our neighborhoods than ever before. It provides incentives, very powerful incentives for more green space, for affordable housing. But most importantly, is that this new zoning ordinance that I'm excited about making sure it's implemented the right way. This new zoning ordinance will change the very pattern of our development, of our future development. So that's one big reason I'm running for re-election, to make sure this is implemented the right way. Been very involved in this again for 5 years. I want to make sure it's done right. And if we do it right, Greenville will stand out once again as a city that's very different from other cities in the country. Second, I want to close the affordable housing gap. We've faced record population growth in Greenville County, in South Carolina, certainly here in the city. This is presenting new challenges, and among the new challenges is affordable housing issues, because the market force is always pushing the values up. So our own success is what our problem is. And here, we have an opportunity in Greenville, again, to do differently from other cities. We're going to push back against the market. That's what we're doing. And that means we're going to close the affordable housing gap by doing a couple things. Number one, we're now making the largest monetary investment in affordable housing of any city in South Carolina. No one else comes close. Our current plan is some $30 million. Charleston invests, I think it's $24 million, and they did it with a tax increase. We're investing $30 million with no tax increase. So serious investment with a plan behind it. Second, we're providing in our zoning code and other ways too, powerful incentives to the private sector to get in the game, to provide more affordable housing. Our mantra, our push really is 20% for affordable housing. We cannot mandate that under state law. State law will not let us do that. But we have other ways to provide incentives for developers to do 20%. So a combination of powerful incentives and really rely more on public-private partnerships, which is really our strength as a city to do that kind of thing, as well as a monetary investment, means that we will close the affordable housing gap in the city of Greenville. That's a very important matter. Third, another thing I'm excited about is green space and parks. Again, going back to the cities around the country that are growing faster than we are, talking to Charlotte. In fact, just a few weeks ago, the mayor of Charlotte, North Carolina was here, along with the Charlotte Chamber of Commerce. What did they talk about? They were astounded by Greenville, South Carolina. I've been hearing about it, now they're here in person. And one of the things they said they wish they had done was more green space and park space when they had a chance to do it. Well, they just saw Unity Park, 60 acres of new green space, and all the other initiatives, and of course the Swamp River Trail. There's no Swamp River Trail in Charlotte. So in terms of managing our growth, and what I'm excited about is continuing to build on the Swamp River Trail, continuing to build green space and park space. We're doing that, but I'm excited about doing more. So those are just some of the reasons. There's lots of other opportunities out there. Since you asked a question about motivation, other things, about kind of big things happening in the pipeline, the neighborhood initiatives are most important. But downtown Greenville has issues too. We have some major projects that are underway for downtown Greenville that I'm very involved in, very engaged in. I want to make sure they're done right. I would name the County Square project as one. It's a county project, but the city is providing design oversight on that project. We want to make sure that we're watching everything they do to make sure it's done right at County Square. We have the new auditorium site project near the Bonsa Course Center. That's a new project. It's going to transform the entire corridor of the entrance gateway into downtown Greenville. When you drive in on 385, if we do it right, and we will do it right, you'll see more of an avenue with wider sidewalks, safer sidewalks for people going to Bonsa Course Center. You'll see tree-lined boulevards. It'll feel like downtown, in other words, instead of the kind of concrete jungle it is today. So that's an important project too. And finally, at Unity Park, we're building the largest footprint of affordable housing in the whole city on the southern side of Unity Park. We're doing that on land that has not had a house on that site since 1964, I believe it is. We're going to create a large footprint of affordable housing. We want to make sure that is done. We have a groundbreaking on one of the, I think 2 of the units next week, in fact, to get that underway. And finally, on Mayberry Street, on the Wittenberg School side, if you will, we have an opportunity to develop that site with the private sector, provide affordable housing on that site as well. And in that particular case, the city intends to sell that very valuable land on Mayberry. We think, we know it's valued somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 to $25 million. We want to see a great development, perhaps hotels, again, mixed use, perhaps we hope great public art and that kind of thing. You might ask the question, well, where's the $20 million going to go? Well, we're talking about that too. My proposal has been that the city, when we sell the property along the edge of Unity Park on the Mayberry side, that we're going to take the $20 million and reinvest that in West Greenville. And we have a number of ideas on how that's going to be spent, if you will, but it's really going to be up to the West Greenville community to tell us how they think the money should be spent. So those are just some of the examples of what's going on right now in the city of Greenville, and I'm very excited to continue to be a part of it.